Hey all of you, hope you guys are great. So in the last video, we have built the functionality of roles in our API. So only admin or guide can delete the data in our API, but the normal user and creator, they can't. So those are the functionality we have built in the last video. So make sure to watch that. So this is where we left in the last video. Now we're going to simply build the functionality. And the functionality we have to build is forget password and reset password. So in this video, we're going to build the forget password, and in the next video we're going to build the reset password. So let me write the functions. We have to export forget password, and then we have this request response and next. Let's copy and this change this to, let's say, reset password. So these are the two functions we have to build, and here you have to provide this, otherwise it will throw you an error. So these are the two functions we have. Let's try to understand that how forget password and reset password exactly work. If you take the example of any application, Facebook, Instagram, when you try to log in, down below you have an option of forget password. And if you click on that forget password button, it will take you to the next page. And that's the same approach we're going to apply. So we're going to take the user into the next page, and there we're going to ask for the data, whether it could be the email or it could be the phone number. It's totally up to you, but we're going to do the validation based on the email. Okay, so in that page user will provide his email, and we're going to send an email to that email address along with the URL where user can reset the password, and we're going to send the token as well to validate whether the user who provided that particular email ID is valid or not. Okay, if it sounds complicated, don't need to worry about that. We're going to build this function together. Okay, so first we'll build the function of forget password, and in the next video we're going to send the email. Okay, so looks good to you. So no more error we have in the console. Come here and we can simply go back to the user router, and this is where we have to build that two router, so forget password and reset password. So we can come here. I'm going to simply copy that, and here I'm going to simply change the endpoint. So this will become forget password, and this will become the reset password. These are the two endpoints we have. Now here we have to wrap the entire function into async function because we are dealing with the promises, and we have to catch an error. So we have already built this functionality. We'll say async, and we're going to wrap that. Bring this down. Entire validation of this forget password will happen in 3 steps. So let me write it down. So the first step, in that we're going to check the user based on the given email. So whatever the email address provided by the user, we have to check it that whether that user exists in our database or not. So that's the very first check we have to do. And the second step, we have to send a random token, and that random token will validate the user that is a real one or a fake one. Okay, so that's the second check. In the third check, we have to simply send an email along with the token and the URL in which the user will simply reset the password. So these are the 3 steps we're going to follow. So let's write the first step, and that's a pretty easy one. We'll say user await user find one, because this time we're not going to say that find by ID because we don't have the ID and the user doesn't know his ID. The only thing we have is the email which he's providing. So that's we call find one, and in that we're going to provide this email because that's what we are looking for, and the data is coming from here request.body.email because this is the email which user will provide in the route. And here we have to build the condition. If user not exists, then we have to throw this error message next, and in that we have to have this error message. We'll say there is no user with this email with status 404. That's the very simple check. I believe so far nothing wrong to all of you guys. So this is the first check we have. Come here. Now we have to create a random token. This token is not going to be as strong as we have created in the user login sections. We're going to create a simple token, and we're going to send this token in the email along with the URL so we can easily able to validate that. But it's not going to be a small piece of code. We have to write a huge code. So I will take a different approach. So we're going to use the instant method. So instead of writing code here, we can come here in the modules, and here we have built all this instant method, and the same approach we're going to take here. If it's a one line code, then you can build it right there, but it will more than one line. So that's why I'm going with this instant method, and this is the best practice which you have to follow. So let's come here. Here we're going to use this, let's say user.schema, in that we're going to call this method, and here we have to build this functionality, create password reset token, and this instant method will create the reset token, and that's what we're going to receive in the auth controller. So let's bring the functionality. It's going to be a normal function because we need to have this keyword, and here we're going to say this, come here, and if I come here, now we have to install one more package because we're not going to make it very strong cryptographically. We need to just go with a simple one. So we'll have this const crypto, and you don't need to install this package because when you initialize your project, it's come with the modules. You don't need to install this. So we have this crypto, and it's coming from required crypto. Save it, copy that one, and that's what we're going to utilize it here. So we'll say const request token. This is the normal token we have to generate, and we're going to use this crypto dot random bytes and 32, and that we're going to call this toString method, and inside that we're going to pass this hex, and this is the token we have generated with the help of this crypto package. And again, I'm telling you that you don't need to install this crypto packet because it's an inbuilt module and you can simply use it. And here we have created our recent token with the help of this crypto.random 32 bytes, but this one is not encrypted, and we're going to send this token to the user in an encrypted format. But we need to also store this reset token in our database, but you can't store it just like this, because if someone's try to hack your database, so they can easily able to get the access of all the details. So it's better to encrypt the data. Whatever data you store in your database, it's better to encrypt that. So the data, the reset token we're going to store in our database, that value we're going to encrypt, but when we send that to the user, we're going to send the normal one. So let me show you what I mean by that. Here I'm going to create a crypto dot create hash. We're going to use this hash 3256 algorithm, and we're going to call this update, and we're going to pass this reset token, because this is what we have to encrypt before we save into our database. And here we're going to call digest, and then we're going to pass this hex, and this will encrypt the password. So this is the encrypted password, we got it. And we can come here, and here we have to take a variable. Here we have to take a variable, two variables we have to take. One is for the reset token and one is for the expiry, because we allow the user to reset their password in 10-minute period. After the 10 minutes, the URL will get expired and they cannot able to reset the password. So let's take a two variable. So let's come here. Here we have to take this, let's say password reset token, and it's going to be a string because we're going to store the encrypted token in a string format. And the second one is going to be the date type, password reset expire, and it's a date type. So we can easily able to find that. So we have taken this two variable, and that's what we're going to simply update here. So this is the encrypted, the reset token, and that's what we're going to update. So we'll say this dot reset token, and we can update that. So this will update into our database whenever someone will try to reset the password. So once we have that, and now we have to simply set the expiry. So we can come here, we'll say this dot expire, and here we're going to use this date dot now, and I want to expire this URL after 10 minutes. So let me do that very quickly. We'll say plus 10 minutes, and we have to convert it 60, and then we have to simply multiply with this 1000. So this will become 10 minutes. So let me repeat what we are doing here. First, we are creating a reset token, and this is the token we're going to send back to the user. But when we are storing this reset token in our database, we are encrypting, because we can't store this sensitive data just like that. If someone get into the database, they can easily able to get the details, all the details. Okay, so that's, and we are also setting the expiry date. So hope this entire things make sense to all of you. Try to understand that, and at the end we're going to simply return this reset token, because this is what we are sending to the user, non-encrypted one. And we have built this entire functionality. Hope this entire thing makes sense to all of you. Watch, if you have still any confusion, watch one more time, it will clear your doubt. So this looks pretty fine to me, no more issues we have here. And here I'm going to simply console log out to show you that what data we are getting. So this is the reset token, and this is the encrypted one which we have in our database. And what you can do is remove this one. So I'm getting this error, so this is the error we are getting. So remove this one, remove from here, and just like this, and this will fix the issue. So this looks pretty good to me, and now we can simply copy that one and come here in the auth controller, and now we can test this out. So let's come here in the create a random token. We're going to create a variable called reset token, because this is what we are returning from this function. User will say user dot, we're going to pass this and it will give us the token. So that looks pretty fine to me. And here we're going to say await dot user save, because this method will run before it's saved to the database. So we'll have this validation and we have to turn this false. Now let's test this out. So let's come here, and here we have to do the changes. So here we have to call this, what we have called, this is the forget password, copy, and we have to change this here, forget password, and we have to do the same thing for the reset. So here we have built that, copy that one and paste here. So this is the reset password. So this is the endpoint we have. So that looks good. Let's come back to the postman, and what we can do, simply create one more tab, and from here we're going to simply grab this one, and that's what we're going to paste here. And here we're going to provide this, we'll say slash, and we'll say what is the name we have given. So let's copy that one, forget password, and that's what we're going to paste, and we'll try to make a call. If we make a call, and this is the error message I got, that cast to object failed for values. Okay, maybe I have something wrong in the code. Okay, this looks something related to the path. And let's save this one because we're going to use this a lot. So let's save this one. So I'm going to simply call it forget password, and let's save into this NFT folder and save it. So here we got it, and let's come here, and here we have to, instead of looking for the NFT, we have to look for the user. Obviously we are looking for the user, not for the NFTs. So here we have to make the changes. We'll say users and save it, make a request. Still I'm getting this error message, say internal server error. Okay, so this is something new to me. Now what I can do is, let's come here, let's go to this, let's come here, all user. Okay, it's users, not user, so my bad spelling. Simply copy that one and simply come here, replace this one, and now it will work fine. So we have this users slash forget password, so provide this slash, and now it will work. Make a request, and still I'm getting this error. Okay, my bad, here I have to call this post because we are sending the email, then it will give us the data. So it's not get, it's post. You might be thinking that I'm making a lot of mistake, but that's the part of development, you forget things. So here we have to call post because we are sending the email, and here we can come make a request, and here you can see this is the error message. We got it because we haven't defined any email, and here we got this message which we have defined, there is no user with this email, because we haven't defined anything, and that's the error message we have highlighted. Okay, so now we have to send the data, which is very easy. Let's come here, this is the error message we have defined. Now let's come here, we have to send the data. So it's going to be in the form of, we are in the body, we have to click on this raw, and in that we have to select this JSON because we are sending in the form of JSON. And here we have to send the email. So this is the email I want to send, so simply grab this admin one, and that's the one I'm going to send it here. So we'll take this email, and I'm going to simply pass the email, and if I make a request, you will see this will keep running on and on because we are not doing anything, but we have to look at in the terminal. So close this one, come here, and if I open the terminal, you can see, okay, so let's make one more time, and you can see it's keep running, cancel. And if you come here, and here you can see, here we got the data. So we have this object, inside that we have this reset token, and this is the reset token, the one which you can see in the green one. This is without encrypted, and the second we got is a encrypted one. 8B is the encrypted one. So this one is the encrypted one, and the green one is the unencrypted one. So it looks pretty fine. So if you come here, this is the one we are calling, and this is the encrypted one. I hope you guys can appreciate this, that how powerful it is, and you guys are learning something new. Okay, so if you come back to the database, right now you can see we don't have anything, those data, but the moment I will refresh, these two fields will get added. So let me refresh it, and you can see this two field, we have this password reset expire. So this is the expiry date, and this is the encrypted token we have assigned. Everything's working fine, and this unencrypted one we're going to send back to the user. So that looks pretty fine to me, and that's the only thing I want to cover in this video. In the next video, we're going to send an email back to the user with the token and the URL. So let's build that logic in the next video.